Wow. Can't believe you got Overdragon on the field with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 materials, so jeez us. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess Pot of Duality? Oh my god. Doesn't even matter. Oh! No wait. Oh! The OTKs are real! Oh! The OTKs are real! Attack for game! Woo! Guys, welcome back to the Random Toy Box with Cole again today. And today I decided to do something different today because I'm trying to appeal to a lot of different audiences. So for some of you who may not want to watch this video, just watch it just to support the channel, you know. But today we're going over a deck profile in Yu-Gi-Oh, as you can tell by the thing. And the deck profile we're going over is Yosenju's, because I love them. They're anti-meta, you know, they're just kind of a rogue deck. So I'm just going to be going over them for some of those people who need some help to find which cards you're going to need to run. So yeah, we got extra deck and side deck. So first we'll start out with the main deck. So you're going to run your standard 3 of each, comma, of course, because these are the heart and soul of the deck, which is kind of funny because their lore is like they're supposed to be wind spirits. So you run 3 of each, comma, just for consistency and because of their effects. You run 1 Sujik, because Sujik is just amazing if you need it, if you have a monster that you need to get over, right? And that's it for the level 4 Beast Warriors. Next, you're going to run 3 Shinshu L and 3 Shinshu R, because you need those pendulum scales, right? I mean, it's just amazing. And if you don't run 3, if you don't run 3, you can run 2. The deck gets a little cloggy if you run 3, but, it's nice to have those scales when you need them. Then you run 1 Kodam, amazing card, by the way. Great combos. You run 1 Misak, 1 Yosenju Daibak. These are kind of your ace monsters. They're the ones that you throw out there when you need something to beat over. Misak can get over anything with his effect, and Yosenju Daibak is good for recycling resources like Fire Formation. Alright, so next up, I know I'm going kind of quick, for just kind of non-Yosenju monsters thrown in there, Flying Sea for the counters. I side deck him most often, but yeah, I do throw him in there for those. And then you got your Speedroid engine with Take a Tomborg and Terratop, because Speedroids, they're kind of too good to not run. Alright, so that's it for the regular non-extra deck monsters. Next, for your spell cards, you're going to be running 3 Fire Formation Tenki, I don't know, because that's obviously the best card in this deck. It's any Yosenju comma, and it just gets this deck moving. It's absolutely necessary for this deck. Next, you got Yosen Training Grounds, another great tech card. Sometimes it gets a little cloggy. That's why I only run 2, because the worst thing to get is you have a terrible hand and you draw into your second Yosen Training Ground. So I don't want that to happen. Then Yosen Whirlwind, because your Yosenjus, because their effects are constantly going back to the hand, so use that for 2 turns just to kind of do your own kind of board wiping, along with Comma 1's effect and such. Next, you got your classic Pot of Duality, MST, and Double Summon. Double Summon's kind of a tech card. It can be used occasionally, but most of the time I just use it as fodder in case I need to discard with stuff like Master Change 2, which, by the way, now here's some staples. Your 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Creature Swap, and 1 Master Change 2. The reason I only run 1 Instant Fusion is because rarely, if ever, am I seeing Yosenjus in the graveyard. So even though I use Instant Fusion for the rank 4 engine that this deck is capable of, I rarely get to actually use Elder Entity Norden as is. Creature Swap is great because I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but if you Creature Swap with any kind of monster that returns to the hand at the end of the turn, like all of the Yosenju cards, it returns back to your hand during the end phase. So you steal their monster, and then it gets switched back. So, boom. And then Mass Change 2, Divine Wind, he can just shut down a lot of stuff, because a lot of stuff, like for instance, Fluffles, Cubic, all kinds of DDDs. They need to be able to get over walls, and occasionally Divine Wind comes in handy. So yeah, your mass change too. Next, you run. This might be the best card of all the Yosenju cards. Yosenju Secret Move. Counter Trap, great. You don't even need a monster on the field. You can just put one of your Yosenju cards into your pendulum zones in case you need to. So yeah, really, really great card. I love Secret Move. It's my go-to search card. Next, just some classic negation stuff. Solemn Warning, Evacuation, and Bottomless. They're all limited for a reason, so that's why I run all of them, because they're just all amazing cards. They shut down everything. Alright, so that's the main deck for you guys. Oh. So now, we're going to go over the extra deck. So, of course, you're going to, for your Instant Fusion, you're going to run your Elder Entity Norden and your one Divine Wind, because if you run more than one Divine Wind, that's pointless. You should never have more than one Divine Wind on the field, in my opinion, because it's just too... It clogs up the deck when you have two mass change. Alright, for some of the rank 4 stuff, you have your 101 Silent Honor Arc. I like 101 better than Castel. It's just... It sucks up a monster, and stuff like DDDs, they can, if they really have to, they can just get that card back with Dark Contracts, even though they wouldn't like to if they absolutely have to, so it's not always as viable to send them back to the deck. Whereas with 101, when you attach something to a monster as an XZ material, they can't get that back. The only way they get that back is by destroying it. And then for the Speedroids, Zenmains, because Zenmain's amazing. Alright? So that's your small little extra deck. Yosenjus don't really need an extra deck. They do their own thing. Alright, now for some side deck stuff. You got Oyam, Magat, and another Kodam. And then for your spells, you got Night Beams, MSTs, and stuff like Double Summon and 1-for-1. 1-for-1 because Yosenju Kodam is actually really strong, and I'm going to go over some of the combos with this deck as well in a second. But first, I should probably explain why I side in stuff like Oyam and why it's not actually in the deck. The thing about Oyam is, he's a... when your opponent declares a direct attack, you can send a Yosenju monster from your deck, from your hand to your graveyard, and special summon him to the field, and he gains that much attack and defense. So he becomes this very strong, powerful wall, which is, it's good, but problem with Oyam is you can brick, especially if you don't have a Yosenju card, and you don't always want to send your Yosenju cards to the graveyard. It's not like, I think the best thing you could send is Kodam, because then you get an extra additional normal summon. At least it has a graveyard effect, but anyway. So that's why I side him. I only run him if I'm going against a deck that I know for a fact I need a strong beater. And also, Oyam's good tech because you get to search when he's destroyed by battle. So, anyway. MST for back row and 1-for-1. 1-for-1 to summon your Kodams. Because the thing about Kodam is he's really good. You contribute Kodam off the field and put 3 counters on training grounds, which I'll explain why that's good in a minute. Alright, let's go over some of the main plays. So, for instance, these cards are your bread and butter. The commas, sorry, I should probably to turn them to where they're facing the camera. Your commas are your bread and butter. Alright? Sujik, I only run one because he's not as great. The thing about the commas is that they are your spammers. When you normal summon a comma, you get to normal summon another Yosenju monster that it doesn't have this, that isn't another of the same comma. Get it? So you normal summon one, then you normal summon another, and then you normal summon another. And they all have good effects. Comma 2 can attack directly. You can just bypass monsters, which combos well with Comma 3 because you get a search when you deal damage with a Yosenju card. So yeah, they combo well together. And then Comma 1 is just an all-around good. I think Comma 1 is honestly the best one because if you control another Yosenju monster, you get to pop a monster back to the hand on the field. So or another card your opponent controls, not just monster and another face-up card, which is not always good, but it's better removal, and it sets up some great OTKs. Okay, so that's kind of I'm trying to think of some strategies that you do here. So here's your ace monster, my Yosenju Daibok. He's easily your most powerful, and the thing about Daibok is when he's summoned, he gets to just throw any 2 cards on the field back to their owner's hands. It doesn't have to be your opponent's cards. It can also be yours cards, which allows you to recycle things like Tenki, because, I mean, who doesn't want to recycle Tenki? Because you get a free search, as long as you don't already have another one in your hand. Maybe then you don't want to send it back. And then you can also recycle stuff like maybe if you have a set trap card that you don't want your opponent to Twin Twister or something like that. Boom, just send it back to your hand. And then that's just some great tech options. Or maybe you want to send a comma 1 and you have like double summon or something. Because if you send comma 1 and you have a double summon, one sec. If you send comma 1 and you have a double summon, you get to resummon him and use his effect again. So yeah, that's a decent combo, I found out. So another big combo with this deck though is going ahead and activating your Yosen Training Ground, which is a great card because Yosen Training Ground, it acquires counters and it lets you search and buff your monster's attack power during the battle phase. So what you do is you normal summon Kodam when you have Yosen Training Ground, and this is just one of the many combos of this deck. All right, so you normal summon normal summon Yosenju Kodam, and then you activate its effect to tribute it and put 3 counters onto Yosen Training Grounds. Then you activate the effect of Yosen Training Grounds and add a Yosenju card to from your deck to your hand. And then if you even though that takes up your normal summon, you can then banish Kodam from your graveyard and go ahead and conduct a second normal summon of the Yosenju monster that turn. So that just combos really well together. Another thing that you can do is if you have, let's say, a comma 1 or a comma 2 and comma 3 on the field, and your opponent has a strong monster and you're afraid of them activating effects, you just swing with that card, and hopefully you already have a Shinchu on the field in your pendulum scales. You swing with them, and then you add a secret move to your hand. You set it during your main phase 2. These return to your hand, and then you're pretty well protected because secret move can still go off because you control a Yosenju card. So that's one of the other combos in this deck. And of course, as I was talking earlier, if your opponent has something and or if your opponent has a monster that you just don't want to deal with or you want to take for yourself, and you have a comma or something like that on the board, and you're like, I want that monster off the field, right? You can just go ahead and activate your creature swap and take your opponent's monster, and then boom, end phase, returns to the hand, and now you have their monster. So overall, it's a fun rogue tier deck. I mean, it's definitely not the best deck of all time. One of the best combos I've found with Yosenju's is probably using Oyam's effect, because if you have Training Ground on the field, dropped a card. If you have Training Ground on the field, then even Oyam's special summon counts as a special summon of a monster. And then also on top of that, if you're sending something like a comma 1 to the graveyard, then you can go ahead. Now you actually have a target to use your instant fusion on to get your Norden on the board. And then your Norden, well, that's Divine Wind, not Norden. Then you have your Norden on board, you special summon your comma 1, and then you overlay into either your 101, which is honestly what you're going into, or your Utopia for Utopia the Lightning, which I don't have Utopia the Lightning, unfortunately. That's too expensive for me, guys. I'm poor. So anyway, that's going to be part 1 of this video. So we got a second part coming up with another deck that I absolutely love. So, and then maybe we'll actually get to see some battles. Alright, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, don't worry, there's new content coming out for Clash Royale in a week. So don't hold your horses and wait for that. I need to do something else in between my other videos. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and goodbye.